people, how many times do we have to go over this? If you want to be America's next top role model for League of Legends, you need to bring the fire. We've been through 6 people already, none of them doing a damn thing for me. Give me something to work with. Thank you. Finally, let's... What is this? What is this? An international loss to a non-major region. I don't care the technicalities of what you want to call PSG. What is this? For sure, Fire Graphics, MSI jersey, I'll give it to you. Losing to them 2-0 before we even get in the knockout stage. Get this shit out of here. Bring in Team Liquid. Coach, to be fully transparent, I kind of did lose to Vietnam last year. Similar thing. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. We are now 24 hours removed from Flyquest bombing out of MSI 2024, losing 2-0 to PSG, 2-0 to T1, and they did win their first series against PSG 2-1, but let's be honest, it's not going to be the beginning that we remember for the most part. It is going to be the end. We have the group draw, Team Liquid still remaining in the tournament. We will get to that later, but first, we just got to break down what happened. It was an international choke job. And it's not like we couldn't have seen this coming to a certain extent. Obviously, the PCS has been growing and getting better each and every year since they've continued to pick up Japan and other regions, as I talked about in my video just yesterday on like the international scene with the Americas and like the current status there. That video just has aged like fine wine as well, might I add. But the fact that Flyquest did lose their strategic coach right before finals did not look like the same team that they did during the regular season, and then we see kind of a continuation of that in this series should be pretty damn concerning for almost all of us, like all North American fans, and raises concerns about Flyquest going forward beyond just this tournament. Because we're only 24 hours removed from the tournament, I don't want to flame individual players because I don't want more hate going their way. They're still our representatives, and honestly, I don't see Flyquest changing their roster at all unless like the locker room issues there potentially are a real thing and they do need to make a change. Maybe. We'll see come summer. If so, then that's just fucking mind-blowing. But the fact that it seems like we have to learn the same lessons over and over and over and over and over again is problematic. There was an interview, I think, with Inspired or Jensen after the T1 loss where they basically said like, oh, you give T1 inch and they take a mile. It's like, okay, we get that, but we've called that out for the last how many years now? Like, at some point, you should have learned from it, no? And then you go into the PSG series and it's like, you got an inch in this series consistently and you did nothing with it. Like, you've seen T1 do the exact thing to you and then you cannot do it yourself. And it's not like you don't know. You have spoken in interviews on how that needs to happen. And the common rebuttal is, well, I'm an Emerald player. I don't really know what I'm talking about. If I could do those things, I should do it. Yeah, but I'm not a pro player. I'm not expected to learn and not make those mistakes in the same way over and over and over again. What I was hoping to see out of Flyquest was an EG style draft where you do let Masu carry, especially as you recognize him as one of the strong points of this roster, both him and Bwipo. Although Bwipo chucked it today in this series. Pick a late game carry for Masu and let him carry. Let him gain some confidence as he was already doing throughout this tournament. Like, he is like the one, when you're looking at this roster and you look at Flyquest run, you look at Masu and be like, I like this guy. I like the confidence that he brings. I like what he's showing, but like what we've seen from Inspired and Bwipo now is just like extremely concerning, like extremely concerning. I know a lot of the community is very down on them in terms of how much crap they talked, and I honestly still think that they should keep doing that, but there needs to be more people that are not fans calling them out on their shit. I mean, use the thing that Americans are obsessed about right now in the Kendrick and Drake rap battle beef. It's like, Drake has been doing sus shit for a long time now, and like fans have called it out, and it's one thing for fans to do, but until like another player, another GOAT of the game comes in and is like, hey, you're doing this sus shit, and everybody can kind of rally behind that, then it's like, okay, I need somebody to come at Inspired and Bwipo. The next time that they decide to talk shit domestically, clap back at them. Come at them and say, oh, well, what the fuck did you do for us internationally? If you're going to talk all that level, it's like, okay, well, when it matters, you can't do it. All these things you talk about and that you preach and you scorn others for, the second the moment comes to shove, you drop the ball on it. Talk shit back. Don't require Bwipo and Inspired to shut up about it. Anyways, let's get some direction in this. I turned to Twitter and asked you all what questions do you have for me, and what do we want to address before we go into Team Liquid and the group stage? So let's go over them. Khan asks, are we at the point where we don't need draws for these brackets? We can just have proper seeding given the draws that depend on TLG2. I mean, basically, it's exactly what happened here. The second you drew which side was on which, you're just determining which of America or Europe plays China or Korea in the first round and like the matchups there. So it basically has gone away, especially for MSI. So, I mean, there's really not much to say. Like, draws more or less are gone. For Worlds, I still think you should have some level of seeding. I'd rather see Swiss, like, stage with seeding than without, even if that takes away the drama, and the draw shows are incredibly fun. If you're going for most entertaining tournament, sure, keep the format as is and, like, give North America and Europe a chance out without ever having to face the East. But if you want, like, the best tournament format, then yeah, you could just give blanket seeding so that we know. Prime asks, was there a difference between Flyquest regular season and MSI Flyquest? Really? No, to a certain extent. Kind of the same, except drafts were definitely a lot worse due to the loss of the positional coach, like without question. They still make the same boneheaded mistakes, and actually I will say the parts of the roster that should, in theory, carry drop the ball harder than we've seen in a while, and the rookies performed pretty damn well. It kind of reminds me of MSI 2021, actually, where, like, if you remember, Fudge overperformed on that roster and the rest of C9 kind of collapsed around him. Same thing here. Falfrey asked, was Masu's performance overall a good indicator for summer? Yeah, absolutely. He showed to me that when it matters, you can rely on him to a certain extent. Obviously, he's going to be fairly inconsistent in those moments, but he at least showed that he can carry, and you can place resources into him, and he'll be able to do it. So put him on late game hyperscaling carries like the Jinx. If he likes Aphelios, let him play Aphelios and learn how to do the things that he needs to do there. The second part of his question, will the mental boom tag associated with Inspired, and now I assume Blippo, cause a Flyquest 2023 fall off? Alright, I made this claim prior to MSI, and I get it's a little fresh and like not the best thing to say or hear, but I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I've said it in the past. Yeah, I don't think Flyquest makes Worlds. One of TL or Flyquest is going to fall off by the end of summer. It happens literally every single year, not just with these two teams, but with somebody from the LCS period. Look at Golden Guardians last year, how we only had 3 teams, they wouldn't have made it. Burnout is a very real thing, especially for teams that go international and have implosions like this. It is going to be very difficult to overcome this adversity. If they do, all power to them. They will break the mold and they will be different than the rest. But as of right now, all I'm seeing is this has summer mental boom, not going to make Worlds written all over it, especially with NRG, who you assume is going to rebound a little bit better, with Cloud9, who is completely retooled. I'm not liking Flyquest's chances in summer. All I want to see more than anything, though, is just Masu continue to level up, because he is like the one really, really bright spot on this roster, and I would also like to see Busio start to turn it around a little bit. That's going to take time, and he needs to develop a little bit further. Final question, do I think any other NA team could have beaten PSG, and could Fnatic beat them? I think Fnatic beats them. I think Team Liquid beats them. I just think Flyquest, when we look back on this at the end of the year, we're going to say the loss of their strategic coach means a lot more than people think, because I'll be honest, I watched Nuke Duck coach 100 Thieves last year, and I wasn't impressed. And I don't think ultimately what he has shown without additional help as a coach has really impressed me at all. And I think our biggest weakness as the Americas, including Brazil, including North America and everybody else, is that we have all of these former players turned coaches, and a few of them are great. Think Hard, for example, phenomenal. Croissant, phenomenal. Golden Glue has shown pretty early strides. Spawn has done an incredible job, but when you look at the likes of Nuke Duck, I'm not as sold. You look at Mithy, I'm not as sold. While actually, now that I think about it, how it's the European players turned coaches in North America that don't do a good job of growing North American rosters, but then it's the American, I don't know. I want to bring on one of the coaches to talk about coaching culture here in North America, because it's a point of contention where it's like, oh, NA players are the problem. And I'm not fully disagreeing, but I'm also wondering, like, if, say we were to just invest in bringing full international coaches over to try and fix our macro and fix some of our problems there, would it be different? Like, Flyquest brought over Song last year, or I think that's his name, the coach from DRX that won Worlds, and like everything imploded. So is ownership like saying, okay, well, I can easily replace a coach, but I can't as easily replace players, so therefore that's better. But in reality, we need the coaching more than we need like the players that fit into the mold? I don't know. It's a tough question, and we'll address it as time goes on. As for the remaining team in the tournament, Team Liquid, they got, quite frankly, the best possible draw that we could have. We get arguably the weaker of the two LPL seeds in top, and we get the international chokers in Gen G. So in theory, if any North American team was ever primed to make a run, this would be the time. We got blessed with the draw. It's the time to make it happen. Now, in the say we were to lose the top, which is expected, the draw would then put us against Fnatic. We would then have to beat the number 2 seed from Europe, which would be great. And then I think we would actually end up playing G2, assuming G2 were to win their first round. Look, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on the first matchup, which is Top versus Team Liquid, which we did already see Top have some struggles against Fnatic, and Fnatic nearly had a chance. And I would personally power rank Team Liquid over Fnatic, but obviously Top has had some time to adjust and adapt. But when I look back at that Fnatic series, I'm saying, hey, Oscar and him performed really well, and then June had a great series as well. People are a little hit or miss on Cream, so there is an opportunity for APA to possibly take advantage there. Jackie Love, I would still comfortably put above Yawn for the time being. If Yawn could prove himself against them, that would be phenomenal, but I think Core JJ versus Mako is actually probably Core favored. 369 versus Impact, we've seen 369 get the better of Impact pretty consistently, so I'm going to obviously still favor 369 there, but I actually, weirdly enough, I do think mid-jungle is a potential opportunity for us. If we can actually show up on the day, APA can get the better of Cream as Humanoid already has, and I do think Umti can get the better of Tian. So while obviously I'm not delusional in saying that Team Liquid is favored here, I would like to see us put up a good showing, and Team Liquid is not the type of team to go down just and crumble like Flyquest did. They're the type to go out swinging, and that's exactly what I want to see. I don't care if we lose this series. Just put up a good fight, unlike Flyquest. Feel like we're actually being proactive. Feel like we are drafting to our strengths and just playing out comps and not making silly mistakes. We can take an inch and then protect it rather than take an inch and chuck it a mile the other way. We will deal with a possible Fnatic matchup or whatever else comes from there in a later video, but for now, Flyquest, we'll see you later. Hello, Team Liquid, our best friends, our final hope, and dear God, please do not bomb out of this tournament and just invite despair for North America. Please, at least beat Fnatic.